gratuitous clinker on clinker violence. It really doesn't seem like something I'd be into. Even if you get to say things like, "Clink you very much." Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today, we're going to work on the bad guys in the Naboo Raid. We're going to use the B2 lead with the Sith, and they're all characters that people mostly have at this point, so that's kind of exciting. I have two other raid videos, folks, that will be linked in the video description. This video will also be linked in those videos, video descriptions. So many uses of the word video. I'll also have one big compilation of a bunch of wins that I did during testing, so you guys can see other iterations and runs if you want to. That's, you go watch that video. There's no voice or sound at all. It's just like 6 wins in a row, so you guys can see what other fights look like if you're curious. Huge shout out to my patrons, by the way. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to support this channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount the algorithm. Even as the bad guys can mount the algorithm too. Hint, hint. I mean, you can do it, guys. Let's do that. We're all bad guys here, right? So here's the split. It's B2 lead with Stap and Magna Guard with the 2 Sith tacked on. And the way it works, folks, is B2 shows his supremely amazing and manipulative leadership. It's iconic, in fact, how he's able to just summon all of his friends, the Sith. It's amazing. He can call them to assist. He can call them to assist, okay? And every time he uses a special, and he uses a special a lot. You guys can read his kit if you want, but essentially, he's going to be taking a ton of extra turns, and he has his cooldowns reset pretty consistently. And when he does use his AoE, he calls the Sith to assist. All right, so B2 is an exciting young fellow, and he's excitable as well. He will rock you. Now the modding for this one, the other raid comps are like, oh yeah, everyone wants the same thing. This one, everyone has a different role to play, and so B2, the role he plays is just calling other people to assist, but you may as well stack him full of offense here. You don't need anything else, just a bunch of offense. With Stap, so first off, you can swap out Stap for Newt. I hear that Newt is not nearly as effective as Stap is. Stap is really nice. He really steps in and asserts himself, but he does, all you want is a lot of speed. And I realize I have a gratuitous amount of speed here, folks. It's really quite ridiculous. I don't think you need quite as much speed as this. This is my Relic 5 Stap, and yeah, you just want speed. You want him to be really fast because you want him to be able to cycle through his abilities as quickly as may be. Now, with Magna Guard, he's just there to taunt. That's all he was going to do. He's just going to take damage, nothing else. Sometimes it's nice to have him to be able to dispel things and everything on people, but that's only for 3/5 of the team anyways, because he doesn't dispel on Sidious or Maul, and so you just want him. Again, I have a gratuitous amount of armor and protection on him. Probably don't need that much, and plus the speed, I mean, a little extra speed is nice, but you don't really need that much. Just make him really tanky. You could also just go the health route. In fact, that might be the better route, because sometimes they suppress your protection and everything, but I've never even come close to having him die. Lots of armor and stuff. Now, Maul, he's an interesting one. His kit really likes him to be able to be critting, and the clankers, the droids are really tough to crit. They have a ton of crit avoid, and so get Maul up to somewhere around 120% crit chance if you can. That's And for the really higher tiers of the raid, you probably want even a little bit more, but you can see the modding here. I don't have him modded for a ton of speed because he takes a lot of extra turns, he gets a lot of turn meter, etc. And Sidious also gets a lot of turn meter. None of these characters, besides Stap, need much speed, honestly, folks. Yeah, that's really not bad. So you want him to have a lot of crit chance as well. Keep in mind, when you read their kits, it says that they accumulate a bunch of more damage. They ramp their damage, but it says encounter at the end, which means that when you go to the next wave, it wipes all of that stacked damage. And so I've heard a few people say things like, oh yeah, you get to stack your damage. And you do within that one individual wave. But if you're doing 6 waves or however many, then you have to ramp again and again 6 different times, just to be clear, guys. So yeah, Sidious, it's kind of nice. He's able to use his leadership for the rest of his group, and that's just part of the raid rules and everything. So couple things to note before we go into this here, folks. First off, I wasn't able to test at 1.8 million level. I was able to test at the 1.2 with my smaller account, and then my bigger account did the 2.7, but the 2.7 is way easier, folks, because you're able to reduce the countdown for Enraged every time B2 takes a turn and does his AoE, which is a lot of times. And so you can actually just kind of hit the auto button. So I have 2 examples of that in the video that I linked in the video description of all the wins, the different raid wins that I have. The first 4 are going to be on my smaller account doing the 1.2 attacks, and then the last 2 are going to be just the only 2 attempts that I think I need. It's really easy. Once you get to the 2.7, yes, you have to get Relic 8 on all of them, but once you do, it's automatic, folks. Automatic. You don't have to restart. This one you don't have to restart. I didn't fail a single time here, folks. So yeah, let's jump into the actual video, shall we? Because it's fun and stuff. So here's the team. You can see Relic 5 on the droids, Relic 7 on the Sith, because the Sith are required at Relic 7 anyways for different things. So, I mean, yeah, you could probably do this with Relic 5 on the Sith. I think the thing that you want to keep in mind is, folks, if you didn't mod them as well as I did, and you need more damage, I think that's the thing that I ran into the most, is I wished I could do a little more damage. More Relic levels is usually going to be the thing that helps. In this raid especially, you just stats, everyone's stat hungry, especially for damage. So let's jump in here, folks. So we're going to start, we have Stap here, and you just want to do that middle ability whenever there's a lot of them, because it gives them that little counter attack thing, the whatever, I forget what it's called, but it makes them hit me back whenever you do an AoE, but it hurts them when it happens, and it also triggers B2 to start shooting again. And so, yeah, you see the little red retribution counterattack thing that hurts them when they counterattack. It forces them to hit me back, and then when they shoot back, then B2's like, hey, my friends just took damage, I'm gonna take a bonus turn. And you can kind of loop through that. Like, if you can abuse that as much as you can, then wonderful. You can't rely on it, but it is a nice thing to be able to use when you can. So you see they all shot Sidious back, and then B2 did his AoE, and then they all shot back. I guess when he does his AoE, then they shoot him back, but and that doesn't really help until Magna Guard has his taunt. Do the AoE with Maul when you can against a group, and then you're going to call Maul to assist a lot. If Maul can get the kill on that call to assist from Stap, then he'll gain 100% turn meter. He'll get to go next. Do the AoE with Sidious whenever you can, otherwise you're just going to do a basic, and you can see, do the AoE, and the 2 Sith are called to assist. Assist. I can't get enough of that, guys. So we're just going to do the AoE here. Let's do the AoE. Hey, B2, what do you think? You think you could do the AoE for me? No? You're just gonna just sit there? Oh, there you go. Hey, you did the A. Thanks, bud. Thanks for doing... Oh, you only got the single shot. Oh, you suck, dude. You suck. So one thing to keep in mind here, folks, you don't get to use it too often, frankly. But with Maul, if he does enough damage with his basic, then he gets 100% turn meter. So you can kind of, in theory, you could just go from one droid to the next and take him out. But in experience, I mean, this is only at the Relic 5 level, and Maul is still not one-shotting him very consistently. Now, you can see, I've talked about this in other videos, but you can see that the stratagem, I don't remember what it's called, guys, the thing over their leader's head, that it's not the little chevron, the sideways chevrons. So we're going to use the I mean, this is standard for all the raids, I think. So you would just want to use the one on the left, and this gives you massive damage. So you do the AoE with Stap at the start of every fight, of every new wave, if you can. It usually works out that way. At least that was my experience. It doesn't always work out that way, but the one other thing I want to point out, guys, is you want to target characters that have a lot of turn meter if you can, so that they don't get another turn. So, all right, cool. We did the massive damage. Magna Guard got his one requisite kill. Now you want to kill the droidekas first, as well as the Staps first, if you can. And yeah, so you kill droideka, kill another one. It's nice. Keep going. Okay, so they dispel us because of the new command droid. That's fine. Just keep going, guys. Keep going. B2 just keeps calling people to assist. Magna Guard, whenever he hits back, he taunts. So that's awesome. I could have targeted something else a little bit. One thing that you want to do if you want to maximize your runs, folks, is if someone is about to die, if they're real close, B2 can finish them off, especially if they have that little, the little, I keep wanting to call it a reverse check mark, the counter thing that Stap can give them. If they're assisting, if they're countering, they're hitting and hurting themselves. They won't kill themselves with it, but then they'll get themselves within one hit point, and then B2 can finish them off pretty easily. He can do at least one damage, right? Gosh, Maul, you're so pathetic, man. Yeah, so just, even if it's only one target, guys, do the AoE with B2, because he's awesome. And he does cool stuff. All right, so again, oh, this is weird. They don't have the chevrons a second time. So this is one of the very strange ones where we do the added buffs and the high morale thing early. So this is like the only time that ever happens, because we want to say the sideways chevrons, whatever it's called. You guys think I would know the names to these things, but I don't, because I have a great memory, or rather the opposite thereof. But yeah, this is one of those very rare times that you don't get those chevrons twice in a row. It's a very strange situation. So, all right, cool. We got through it, and here's the droidekas. We're marching right on through. Okay, so Stap takes a good timely turn, and so yeah, you want to kill the two droidekas now. And now target the guys that don't have the reverse check mark, guys. All right? Target those guys. And one thing I will warn you, folks, I don't know if it's in this video or not in this footage, but the thing that I would warn you about, folks, is sometimes their Staps get a turn, and they do the AoE on you, and they do the same thing to you, and Maul just gets stuck in this weird retribution loop that he doesn't do any damage. He does reduced damage whenever he assists, which is often with B2. So what you can do, and I don't know if it is in this video, and it shows, with B2, the best way to do it is you just do a single basic attack with B2. Because Maul was going to have a lot of turn meter, you need him to take a turn to get rid of the reverse check mark. Alright, guys? Remember, Magna Guard isn't going to cure it for you. Dude, Maul, why do you suck so much, man? See, I bet I could have modded Maul just a little bit better at least, but it's okay. I'm sure it's okay. We're all fine here. And now we don't really have Was this a third one without the weird retribution? That's strange. Without the chevrons, it doesn't matter. I actually have another one showing in that linked video that I was telling you guys about. Oh yeah, so watch Maul here, guys. He's just this eager little puppy that does no damage. Anyways, I got one with the sideways chevrons ability on all the B1s. Okay, watch how I can kill this guy in the red here, just with my AoE. Yeah. Anyways, even with the really tough, commander droid. Yeah, so these are the sideways chevrons I keep talking about on the commander droid. You can, yeah, okay, so snipe out B2 there on the right-hand side by targeting a different one, because he was about dead. And watch how Maul is doing no damage. Watch how Maul's doing no damage here. So you call to assist, but he's doing nothing. And we're right at 98% of enrage. Though I think once you're in the final bubble, even if they get to enrage, I think you still be fine. So like Maul has all this turn meter, but he's just not taking turns. So when B1, B2 goes, yeah. So I'm not doing it right. I should just use my basic with B2. So you try to cleanse with Magnagard, doesn't work because he's not a separatist. I call Maul to assist. That doesn't help because he's doing reduced damage because of his upside down, his reverse check mark, guys. Hey, there we go. We finally got a kill. Finally got a turn. So, you know, still trying to tweak it, learn how to do this perfectly, of course. But, I mean, this, mostly, I'm just showing you guys as a modding guide. You know, a generalized strategy guide. I know that some of these fights are a little rough around the edges, and I understand. You know, I get that maybe, you know, I don't have perfect play, but frankly, I spent hours trying to remod, get the right modding, get the right everything. And you know, we don't need to spend more time on it, guys. This is something that I never failed even once. Oh gosh, I should have done this at the start, but huge shout out, guys, to the Raid server, Discord server that'll be linked in the video description as well. They have a lot of good strategy and stuff. There's a really good infographic for this specific one that I don't disagree with that infographic. Some of them I have little tweaks to and everything, but this one is pretty straightforward. And special shout out to Quig, who is the one who was able to, I mean, he made the infographic. I think he probably pioneered how to use the team in the first place. So anyways, folks, that's it. Not too bad. Go share it with your friends. Mount the algorithm. I hope this helps you. Thank you so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.